America's founders set up a system of government that made it difficult for major legislation to be passed. The creation of a large republic and separation of government power into three branches, executive, legislative, and judicial, was designed to assure that the unpopular ideas of any individual or faction would not prevail, and that major new laws could only be passed with broad consensus. So what to make of Obamacare, a supposedly unpopular law effectively nationalizing 15% of the nation's economy, and now the cause of the first government shutdown since 1996? Conservatives' attempts to defund the program, then negotiate with themselves and satisfy the left, have failed. So the system is down in more ways than one. And the pollsters are already telling us that conservatives will bear the brunt of public anger over the government shutdown. This all means one thing. With a compliant establishment media and the public blaming conservatives, the left is not going to budge, not 1 inch, especially when the stakes are a nationalized healthcare system they have fought decades to achieve. And this presents the left with a golden political opportunity to make a silk purse out of the sow's ear that is Obamacare. The possibilities are endless, especially with healthcare exchanges now open for business, even though the system has mostly been down, misfiring, or maddeningly slow. Imagine that. And further imagine what would happen to a private sector business that botched the rollout of a new product marketed for 3 years with hundreds of millions of dollars. But the real and burning question is, what is it that Americans really want? In 2010, the voters delivered such a thorough repudiation of Obamacare that Democrats lost 63 seats in the House and 7 in the Senate. And to punctuate the point, a Republican, Scott Brown, actually won the U.S. Senate seat of the deceased legend Ted Kennedy in famously liberal Massachusetts in a nationalized single-issue race. That single issue was Obamacare. So have the voters changed their minds? Do they now at least tacitly support Obamacare by blaming the members of the House for doing what they were actually elected to do? Or can the voters simply not discern the difference between House members fulfilling their promise to take down Obamacare and actually wanting a government shutdown, as the left continues to claim? At some point, the blame for all this shifts from the politicians to the people. This is a nation of we the people. So what exactly do the people want? It has now reached the point where the only remaining option for ridding the nation of Obamacare is a full defunding of it by the Congress. And you can't have your cake, taking down Obamacare, and eat it too, opposing that which is necessary to take down Obamacare. Telling pollsters you oppose Obamacare but think a government shutdown must be avoided at all costs is simply incoherent. Unless, that is, you believe temporarily furloughing some bureaucrats who will ultimately get a paid vacation out of this, or a delay in your visit to the Smithsonian or the Grand Canyon for a few days or weeks is worse than the government seizing control of our entire healthcare system now and forever. One thing seems certain. With Obamacare passed, barely, by Congress, signed by the President, upheld, barely, by the Supreme Court, and seemingly affirmed with the President's re-election, this moment in time likely represents the last opportunity to do away with the Affordable Care Act.